Good morning. I never know when the sound's going to get kicked in. And sometimes the first part of my sentence gets cut off when I go live. This has happened a few times, right? So it's Friday, and there are. I hope people are going to settle down. The DNC convention has wrapped up as far as I can tell. I don't know if they do final gavel today or if it already happened. But generally they'll have like a final gavel moment where they're like, "Okay, we've all agreed that um on these changes to the bylaws, and we've all agreed to these changes to our party platform, which is basically the values of what are we going to fight for over the next 4 years, right? Although they can continually revisit because they have at least, I think, 2 meetings per year, maybe more. I think they do at least 2 meetings per year with all those delegates. And the delegates end up on various subcommittees where they're representing certain things, right? And some of them just grandstand. Like, Nomiki Konst has a pretty famous viral clip of when she was on the DNC as a Bernie delegate and talking about, I think it was about money in politics, taking money from like corporate donors and stuff like that. And she got really heated and excited about it, and it went viral. Great girl, great job, girl, right? Except then when she started taking Fox News gigs and working with them. So it's hard to tell who you can trust, right? So we've wrapped up the updates to my security system. Everything's in place now. I had a conversation with the HOA president yesterday. I did try and contact my property manager to let her know what was going on, right? And also to talk to her about like the door. Because apparently that invoice was emailed directly to them rather than handed to me so that I would pay it and they would reimburse me, right? So I made a call yesterday to say, "Hey, we cool now? You got everything you need." Like, and I had one other issue for her which we're still looking into. Mm, especially with all the weird shit that's been not only happening online but happening around my condo, right? Um I don't know if you guys have ever seen somebody trying to break in a door from the inside, watching it from the inside, and trying to understand. Like, you just woke up, right? You're groggy, you don't know what's happened, and all of a sudden you see pounding on your door and your door jamb breaking, and you have no weapons, right? And you don't know if you can get close enough to that door to actually even look through the people because the door might come flying in at you. By the time, and plus I walk slow because of my leg. So by the time I got over there, I couldn't see who did it, who done it. I couldn't see, right? So, that is now rectified. That is no longer going to be a problem for me. Okay. Um, but we did discover something else that was slightly disturbing, and we're trying to figure that out too. Um, I'm not going to get into the details of that, but obviously somebody has been coming around the property and fucking around, maybe trying to look into my windows and stuff like that. Pretty scary shit, you guys. Especially when I'm single, I'm disabled, I live alone, and I don't have any weapons. That's not how I roll, right? So, anyway, I'm hoping that things will start normalizing by next week because the conventions are over and these certain people are not going to be paid anymore to harass online. At least I would imagine they would target their online budgets to more effective targets. I'm not even a political organizer anymore, so why come after me? Why spread misinformation about me to some of my peers in the React community who obviously don't vet their sources and just went with it? They're like, oh my gosh, this must be true. Really? You don't think that videos can be taken out of context and, I mean, like it happens all the time, right? Videos can be taken out of context. But I am happy to explain anything that you might be confused about in regards to what this guy is spreading. Um, because I did contact one of the other people who's being harassed, and he sent me a screenshot of what was told to him, and it was flat out lies. Dude was saying that I claimed he was Foodie Beauty and that he was several other people. He was all these people. And that is not the claim I made. The claim I made is that he's a hired troll. He gets paid through gift cards and that he's been stalking me. So the possibility that he would approach people and say, for $50 or $100 gift card, I will harass her on your behalf, right? That seems like a pretty easy proposition to make, allegedly. Speculation. But it seems like that would be the easiest thing to do, especially because he doesn't want to be traced. He wants to live completely off the grid. Couch surfing, just like Kai Bella. And pretty close to the same area. I'm just telling you. Pretty close to the same area. I mean, there are millions of people in, we outsize some states. There's like, I think 14 million people in LA County, and there's, I think, 4 million people in Orange County. So the odds that they actually know each other and are working together are probably slim to none. Except that this dude dipped into the girl world when he saw me covering it. Very interesting. Anyhow, In regards to Are You Serious's group discussion about who may have sent the email, DM, I think it was a DM, to Chantel's mom. I think it was an irresponsible discussion to have because you're asking your chatters to make assumptions, and they're going to suggest people that they dislike, right? Um, and it just starts to get ugly in the chat. That's why I thought it was a bad idea to do. Um, and to just cast aspersions on people. I mean, so many people were named in that discussion that it got weird. Um, because I know Yaba brought this up on her live this morning and said, "Oh, I looked at it. It was just a joke." I think in her mind, the way she was presenting it, it was intended initially to be just a joke. But as the conversation progressed, she started seriously saying, I have somebody that I'm thinking of, and I just don't know that we can be profilers online like that, and that it could end up in hot water. Like when you take information that is inaccurate and don't talk to the person about it, and you're just like, I think this person did this, right? If we're being real about it, it could have been Chantel herself. Because maybe she's got some pent up anger for her mom for not helping her control what's going on with her. Um, she does seem to be going through a lot of anxiety right now, especially talking about like her nightmares and not being able to find her Kia. But also the way she's been talking about this Kia, it kind of sounds like she didn't actually sell it. Maybe, maybe a relative is helping her out and borrowing that Kia right now, but I don't know that it's really gone. The way she was talking about it, it sounded like it's still around. I don't know, you guys. I don't know the answers to any of that. But and I don't know when she's going to actually travel, but it sounds like it's soon. And also, one of the things about like the footage that Yaba was clipping today to go over, she kept on referring to herself singular. I got a ticket. I'm going traveling. I'm doing this. And had to be reminded by her chat that Salah was going to be there with her. That started a whole speculation of, is he really going to be there? I don't think that that's necessarily cause for thinking that he's not going to actually travel with her. I think that that's really just more of an example of how self centered she is, that she was only considering her comfort in this travel adventure and not talking about how it would affect Salah. You know what I mean? I just think she's very self centered. But it's possible maybe she is outright lying to us and she's actually traveling alone and maybe going back to Canada. Who knows? I have a feeling that's not the case, though. I'd be curious to know what the conditions are going to be for Julia. Is she just going to be left in the shitbox apartment? Somebody going to be checking in on her? Is she going to be babysat by somebody in a different location? Because I doubt she'll be boarded up. She's not vaccinated. They're not going to take her at any official animal places to be boarded up. That's just not going to happen. Um, but you know what? If she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't want to talk about it. That's her business. I guess we'll find out. It's unfortunate that she gets her audience connected to animals and then is so shitty with those animals right in front of us, right? Neglectful. Isn't even looking at Julia when she's around. She's just reaching up and, oh, Julia, let me grab your face. Right? So, she still doesn't know how to actually love animals. That's going to be, I mean, 40 is pretty old to try and change your ways, girl, but you don't know how to love animals and to treat them right. Get them to the vet when they need their vaccinations and you know, a antibiotic injection for a skin condition and to be spayed, right? These are basic things that you have to do as a pet owner. And she's just so goddamn lazy. She doesn't. If you were less lazy, you'd be in less pain. You know that, Chantel? Like, seriously, if you started running these types of errands, walking up and down the hall, you would lose a little bit of weight and your body would feel better. But it's only going to get worse if you only have two positions, sitting and lying down. So I don't know what to tell you. Uh, what else has been going on? I already talked about the DNC convention, the security upgrade. Um, Makes me sad that there are people in the world like that just want to try and terrorize you, scare you, rile up the people around you, and, you know, spread hate unnecessarily. That's very unfortunate in my mind. Um, in September, I imagine there's going to be a lot of knocking on doors trying to register voters because time is running out. There's going to be a lot of trying to register new voters. And now that the convention is over, I think the only thing the county parties are waiting for is their final endorsement picks on local races, municipalities, and things like that. And then at that point, they will come up with their literature, whether it be like a door hanger or something that you curl up, roll up and slide through the door handle. It depends on what their strategy is. Are you going to knock? Are you going to talk to the voters? Or are you just lit dropping and just trying to get the literature on the door? These are all different ways of doing it, right? Um, I still don't know what other people who claim they are actually doing volunteer work think volunteer work is. It keeps blowing out. I don't think they really know what volunteer work is because that's not how it goes. Volunteer work is talking to voters, reaching out to voters, doing the postcarding. And the parties from all over the country, because you've got county parties and state parties and Democratic clubs and all over the country, they share resources. So if there is a hot race in one state, they will focus more resources from other states to phone bank into those states, municipalities, whatever it's going to be. I think they'll probably focus on Arizona, right? It's going to be one of them. Um, but that's just my guess. Anywho, I got to make some breakfast and run some errands because, unlike bedbound Chantel and Amberlynn who need caretakers, I still run my own errands, girls, even though it's very difficult for me to walk. So let that be an inspiration to you. Take care, everybody.